Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Lamborghini SC18 in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 at Golden Max. My car is at 2 stars. I've uploaded a video about that if you would like to see it, but these races have been given to me by Rev Chaudhry. I will put a link to his channel in the description below. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. So the SC18 was a car I was pretty excited about, but then it just kind of fell out of the radar after the Grand Prix, when I think most people didn't get it at a very high star count, and thus did not use it much in time-limited events, and so people just kind of forgot about it, because I got it 2 stars. Most people who got it probably got it 2 or 3 stars, but at max, I can say that it's probably not a king of its class, but I can imagine that on some tracks it would do quite well. The thing is, it doesn't have particularly amazing stats in any aspect, except for its nitro efficiency being very long. But its top speed at around 235 miles per hour is pretty average for the high-end Class A cars, as is its acceleration at 82, and its handling is decent as well. So its biggest strength is probably its nitro efficiency from what I can see, but I do not think that people who didn't get this car should worry too much, because while I do think it will be a very good high-end A-class car at max, I don't think it's going to be any better than other high-end A-class car kings already in the game. Because most of the cars in the past few updates have come pretty quickly after one another, the majority of players will not have saved up enough tokens or even been able to between them without paying for tokens in order to get them all at much of a high star count, which makes it difficult to tell a lot of the time where these cars truly fit into their classes. But as you guys have seen, I've been able to get max races from some people with most of the more recent cars being added, so hopefully we'll at least have some information to go on when making the next best and worst cars in each class list, which I would imagine might come after the next update. That's what I'm thinking about right now, but we'll have to see. The Grand Prix that's going on right now with the Triad Nemesis is one of my favorite events that we have ever gotten in Asphalt 9, or at least the kind of event it is, because it is pretty much a 100% skill-based event, because you can't buy any packs or anything. The car is regulated to max, and you have to get better times to get into higher tiers, which give better rewards. There is no way to buy your way to the top here. You have to have good skills in order to get the best rewards. Now granted, the rewards aren't amazing, just a few hundred tokens at the most, but considering that you get plenty of extra rewards through the practice rounds, I mean, you're basically getting free rewards at this point, and you have an entirely skill-based event, which is something that we've been asking for. So I definitely applaud Gameloft for this. I hope they do more things like this in the future, because I found it to be a lot of fun. Also, the very fast final rounds only lasting a day I find to be a good touch. Now, I wouldn't really want that in the normal Grand Prix unless they decided to make them all somewhat like this, which I don't think they will, because in those, since the rewards are a lot more valuable, I guess, since you get a car at the end of them, it makes sense to have more days to practice in those before you do your final round. But then again, if everybody has less time to practice, it might not make so much of a difference. So I'm really hoping that they will take the regulated car aspect of this Grand Prix and put it in one of the other Grand Prix for one of their new cars. I mean, even if it's one of the not as good ones, like say they did it for the Ford GT Mark II ones, that would still be fine with me. I would just like to see them do it in one of them. But overall, I've been enjoying the event, although I think it's sort of like a calm before the storm of whatever the Twatra event is going to be, Tuatara, however you pronounce it, because it's not going to be a drive syndicate. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something completely new, and if the Bailey is needed, yeah, I mean, you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm just not expecting it to be very good, although we'll hopefully see in a couple of days, because that's when everything in the game now, like the multiplayer seasons, the club seasons, the Bailey special event, all those end in just a couple of days. That's probably when the Tuatara event is going to come out, and like I've said previously, I will make a video about it if it is some kind of truly big new event that might be a little bit confusing or whatever, so you guys can have the best chance at it that you can have. Of course, the video probably won't come out like right when the event comes out, unless it is very easy to learn, because I have to take time to learn these things too. So in most cars, you generally drift around this hairpin turn up here, but in cars that have very good nitro efficiency like this car, you can actually just kind of wall ride around the outside without losing much speed, made, and I think that's why we're able to get ahead of that other car right back there, which might be a Corvette if I remember correctly. But you can see throughout this video that this car is very agile overall, and I almost see it as like another Huayra, having really good nitro efficiency and pretty average everything else, although they're still quite good. And Chaudhry goes around this final turn to finish the race in first place. I realized a few days ago, when all the anniversary stuff started happening, that Asphalt 9 is now 2 years old, which is kind of crazy to think about, since it almost feels like to me that it came out just yesterday. But it released worldwide on July 26th of 2018, and so a lot of us, all of us who have been playing since launch, have been playing the game for 2 years, or perhaps slightly longer if you did the soft launch, which I know came out a few months before for iOS, maybe a bit while before for Android as well, but for Windows it only came out maybe a few days ahead of time, which I did get to play, so I probably started on the 24th or something like that. But it's just cool to think about how much that we've learned about the game and new tricks and everything over this time. I mean, a lot of people were thinking when this game first came out, I think at least in the back of their minds, that it wouldn't really take off competitively like Asphalt 8 did. And I mean, it hasn't to quite the extent, but it's gotten pretty close with more and more people, because of learning all the different tricks and stuff, making videos about events and really good times and competing a lot in those and things like that. And I'm very happy to see that, because the competitive aspect of the game has always been one of my favorite things about it, because you guys know from Asphalt 8 that I always enjoyed doing really well on the leaderboards, and always multiplayer has been my #1 thing. So I'm glad that's come into this game, and I hope it can continue to go that way and not die out anytime soon. And I think it probably will, as long as Gameloft doesn't make any really crazy decisions like making super rare fusion coins in Asphalt 8 or changing a bunch of stuff like they did in the Flu update. Like, I think one of the big things is just don't change a ton at one time. That is something that is sure to rile up players, even if it might be for the good in the long run, which most of the changes don't seem to be. But yeah, do not fundamentally change a whole lot at once, because that will most likely not go over well. Another thing I was thinking about is how much driving styles have sort of changed since the beginning, after we've learned all sorts of new tricks and things. Like the brake nitro trick in particular was one that was discovered maybe a year, maybe a little bit less than that after the game's release, but that has really been one of the fundamental things that has changed since the beginning, when nobody was really doing that, and it's become such a popular thing now. There have been other things like that. I can't really think of any in particular at the current time. I guess the most recent example would be the floaty 360, where if you 360 with a very fast car soon before going around the turn, if you do it just right, you can get a faster drifting speed. So that's a more recent one. And I was thinking that, I mean, in the past year, there hasn't really been a whole lot I could add to another, how to go fast in Asphalt 9 video. So I was thinking maybe I would make more in-depth videos about very specific topics, like the nitro or drifting or something like that. I don't really know. I haven't thought of big ideas for that yet. But let me know if videos like that are things you might want to see in the future, because that's definitely something I could do. That How to Go Fast video has become my definitely most popular video on my channel of all time. I mean, it's getting close to 190,000 views at this point, I think, which is absolutely insane. But I think people just really want to know how to drive their very best in this game. And if it would help people to make more in-depth videos about specific aspects, perhaps, I would be more than happy to do that at some point. Some of you may know RPM Yes from his reversed versions of my music videos. Well, he has made his own music video about stunts, which is something that he's also pretty well known for, so I'll put a link to that in the description if you would like to check it out. Also, I'm going to be uploading an Asphalt 9 video, sort of unlike ones I have done before, in the next few days, hopefully, so be sure to check that out. I think you guys are gonna be pretty excited about it. So we're coming up toward the end of this race here, and so far throughout the video, I've noticed that the SC18 is one of those cars that can do very well on almost any track that it is thrown onto. And so I really think that if an event comes back for this car, or people are able to get blueprints for it in a not pay-to-win manner, that it will become a pretty popular car. But until then, I think it's going to be one of those rarer cars that you might see at the bottom of Platinum League people using at lower stars, and just not really getting used to its full potential since not as many people have it at its full potential. But since we are seeing it driven at Golden Max here, I can give my thoughts and my general review on this car at max. The SC18 appears to be one of those cars that you could probably use in just about any situation that you would need to use a high-end A-class car, while not being probably the best car on any track, a very good one on almost all of them. Its nitro is its biggest standout point, with its top speed, drifting, handling, and acceleration all being pretty good as well, but not the best in their class. Pretty average among high-end A-class cars. Thank you to Rev Chaudhry for these races as he rounds the final turn to take the victory in this final race, and thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!